Hello, everyone. My name is Kurosh, and I'm joined today by. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yes. Hi, my name's Elaine Gómez. I am the president and co-founder of LatinX in Gaming. I'm also a game designer with 9 years of experience in the industry.
And thank you today for meeting with me. I really wanted to talk about what Latinx in gaming is. For those uninitiated, I'm fairly just newly learning about it, and so I love to hear like what, from a cultural standpoint, from a gaming industry standpoint, what you can tell us and what you can introduce us to what it is.
Yeah, sure. So Latinx in Gaming started just as like a community group at GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference. We started meeting in 2017, and we just saw the desire of other developers that wanted to meet with and network with other Latin American developers here in the U.S. So that's what kind of prompted us into actually making it a real, like, legitimate community and have a Discord server, have socials that people could go to look for information or I don't know, to find each other. Because it's, even though people say the industry is really big, when you're in it, it's actually not that big. It's actually small, but it's hard to still find people, especially finding mentors. I think that was like the biggest thing for us because we were all like fairly new into our careers when we started Latinx in Gaming, and we didn't really have mentors to talk to and like ask for guidance or advice on, like, how to climb the career ladder or like how to get promoted and getting referrals, things like that. So since we were struggling with that, we're like, we know there's some other people that are probably having the same challenges, so why don't we just help each other and give each other resources and like support each other. So that's really like at the spirit and the core of like what Latinx is. And then in 2020, we decided to form it as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And because it's a charity, now we can ask for sponsorship and partnership with companies in the industry to aid in some of those initiatives to help other people.
Okay.
So that includes, at this point in 2025, we've been running for 8 years. And it's taking this long to really see fruits of the labor because it takes a long time to plant seeds and then watch those plants grow. So now we're starting to see small indie studios being formed from within the community. We're starting to see like really amazing games coming out and getting awards and getting showcased all over the world. So it's been a long journey to get here, but we're so proud of what we've been able to provide and like the level of impact that we've been able to have inside our industry. Because at the end of the day, all that we want to see is that we want players and the community to know that Latin American devs are so talented and creative, and they really have unique stories to tell and different viewpoints. And we just want people to enjoy the worlds that they're building and the unique mechanics that they're coming up with. And we are able to have a platform for them to be able to do that so that we can share it across the world. So yeah.
I love hearing that you're finally seeing some of the fruits of your labor that you've put so much. It's hard sometimes with like you put it invest and not know if it's registering or if it's delivering. But I'm curious now, 8 years in 2025, what do you see are the challenges now as opposed to when you started? Like I know finding that community, finding the mentorship was a challenge. Is it a new set of challenges? Is it the same but in a new coat? Like, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with, like you said, with 8 years, there's a lot of things, a lot of benefits, right? We have made a lot of mistakes and we have failed at a lot of things.
That's how you
That
learn.
has definitely prepped us to now.
Okay.
And I think that has been, a huge advantage to have, to know exactly what works and what doesn't.
Okay.
And giving that information to other communities that are alike ours, but different communities, so that they can grow and learn. So that includes like API in gaming, which is brand new. They just started like a year or so ago.
Really?
And one of the leads is one of my really good friends for like over 10 years. And we knew each other since before the games industry. And now that they have been building API, I can like talk to them about, hey, this is what worked for Latinx. Here are some do's and don'ts. Here's some connections. Here's a partner, a potential partner, or potential connection. I can connect you in that way. And that's been very rewarding to be able to do that and help people in that way. I would say the biggest challenge right now with the current politics, the reality is that there are a lot of companies that we used to partner with that now don't want to partner because of what's happening politically. And, to each their own. We understand and respect that. So what we're really trying to do now is foster and strengthen the relationships that we have with people that still believe in the cause and that do want to support what we do. And even though it was challenging in the beginning of the year, we were able to land really great partnerships. And before, in 2016, not 2016, I'm sorry, 2018, when we were first starting, we went to PAX South when it was still existent in yes, in Austin. Oh, is it Austin or San Antonio?
You're right,
Something like that.
It's in Texas.
In Texas, yes. And I remember we had they gave us a lounge, so we were able to showcase some Latin American games, and we had developers fly in from Latin America to showcase their games. And I remember us having to rent monitors so that the studios could showcase. And I remember paying out of pocket and my bank account going negative because of that, because I was just starting my career, and it was like that for a while. For some of us, we were like, wow, our bank account's in the negative. I only have $100 left, guys. It was really struggling, struggle busing. But now we're at a point in 2025 where we have our own bank account, and we are getting sponsorships of 10, 20, 30, $50,000 that we can give back to the community, because we don't keep anything. I don't take salary as president, neither does the vice president. We don't take any stipends or anything. Everything goes back to the community, every single penny, unless we need to do an event or we need to pay a contractor. It's definitely all utilized for the community. So we're really proud of that even though we have faced challenges in funding because of politics, that there's still people that believe in us and really want to push towards having an impact in our community. And that is financial support. Everybody needs it right now, and now more than ever with all the layoffs that have been happening. Yeah, so two things right now where we're doing for funding is our grants program, which actually closes tonight. But it's our fourth year running it, and we pool anywhere between $20,000 to $30,000 to give back to the community for anything that they need. So anything between zero, obviously nobody's gonna apply for a $0 grant. From $0 to $1,000, people can request for things like, I need a flight to go to the Game Developers Conference. I need a hotel grant to go to PAX West, right? I need a solid state drive for my computer because mine's not working anymore. We even had somebody apply that needed help covering their internet bill because they just couldn't afford it. So the needs are there, and we're just providing an avenue for people to get some help. And that feels so, I don't know, it warms my heart to be able that we can do that, you know what I mean? And provide that aid for people. And then our second thing is our Android porting program. So that's a partnership with Google, and it's specifically for developers who cannot afford to port their games to Android because they don't have money for the devices to test, or they don't have money to get the developer account fee. So we waive all that stuff. We cover the cost of the devices so that they can port, and we help them along the way. So those are two things right now that are actively running. And of course, we have events and game jams that have prize money in it and all that stuff. But it's all about really community building and financial support at this point, because that's what we have noticed the community wants and has asked for specifically.
One of the things you mentioned PAX South when it was around. We're at PAX West right now. How does PAX specifically, how does that work in relation with what the efforts you guys do? Has it been a space where you get some of that, or can you talk a little bit about what you learn or what opportunities that creates?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate to have a relationship with ReadPop, which is the parent company of PAX. So we have been active in pretty much all the PAXs in the last few years. We either have had a panel or a lounge or some type of opportunity where we can come in and talk about the org and network with people. This year, we were given the opportunity to host mentorship sessions in the mornings.
Okay.
So every day from 10 to 12 at the Summit Building in room 433, we have been meeting there, and we have mentors signed up from our community who are industry veterans, people who have been in the industry for up to 30 years. And then we have students that have come by, content creators, games enthusiasts, people asking, hey, I want to pivot my career into games. What do I do? How do I do it? Yeah. And we've been able to give that advice every morning, and the sessions have been awesome. We packed out the room both yesterday and today.
That's amazing.
So, and Breedpop was great and gave us some coffee and tea coffee and like some scones and muffins in the
fuel.
morning.
The
Yes,
fuel
the
you need to
fuel.
run.
So I think people also have been coming and be like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna get free breakfast, which has been really nice, because we don't know financial situations of people.
It's one less thing to worry about too. It's like
Exactly,
there's
absolutely.
so many things to already be thinking of, like you said, like the
Yeah.
monitors or like the tables and logistics.
Yes.
That just one less thing to worry is a convenience and
Yeah.
eases the barrier. But I do want to talk a little bit too about. You're just saying you're supporting and cultivating the Latin American like development kind of scene.
Yeah.
Is it here as well as in those regions? Like, do you work with developers in Latin American countries, or do you help get? Because I know I've talked to a few other international developers, and getting the support internationally is another barrier, like another challenge. I just wanted to know, like, scope wise, is that within it, or am I off base or not understanding it fully?
Oh no, you're not off base at all. Yes, we're international.
Okay.
So we support devs all over Central and South America, and then the Caribbean too, because there's a few countries that are Spanish speaking. We're also trying to build relationships with Brazil, even though they're Portuguese speaking, because they're in the region and they're just as important as all the other countries. So yes, we support everybody, and how we are able to support financially across borders is the fact that we are a nonprofit, and that's a huge advantage to us because it is a donation based almost, and there are certain forms and paperwork in place that allow us to be able to give money away to other developers in other countries. And something that I love from that is that the US dollar goes a long way in some of these countries where the currency exchange is like different.
Yeah.
So like $100 in Cuba like goes a long way. So it's nice to be able to do that where you think, oh, like $500 is not that much, but to them it could be like a huge life change in what they're trying to do with their games and things like that. So yeah, it's nice to be able to work internationally, and also we collaborate with a lot of associations and organizations locally in Latin America. So there's the Latin America Games Federation. So they are kind of like a hub for the official country game developer associations. So Peru has one, Uruguay has one, Mexico has one, and they kind of like all gather as like official orgs. And then we work with them as well to like give them visibility and like also help support financially some of the things that they're doing in their countries. And then we also are very good friends with the Latin America Game Showcase. So they are strictly just like a showcase community. So very like Summer Games Fest and things like that. They partner with the Game Awards, Summer Games Fest, and some other like showcases to only really their whole thing is like showcase Latin American games that are of high quality and are looking for publishers and investment. So we partner with them too and try to highlight the games that they're promoting as well, and trying to figure out other ways to like collaborate even more because we're all serving like the same people. But what we have pool wise is that we're in the US. So, and we are a nonprofit, so we can help like financially. So it's a little bit different than some of the things that they're doing, but together as like a Triforce, it's kind of like we can really make huge impact. So we love working with other people too who are in the same have the same mission and vision. Yeah.
One of the things too, I'm for those just unfamiliar with the industry as a whole. We were talking about it being volatile as it's just continues to be, but this effort, is it purely for developers or is it anyone in the industry kind of based kind of roles? Because there's business side of it, business dev side of it, there's marketing side of it, there's programming and all kinds. Can you talk to the breadth or the narrow, like the specificity that this covers or your teams work within?
Yes, so our community is mostly made up of game developers. I would say I can't really say a percentage because I wouldn't know, but I would say the majority of folks that we have are game developers because we started at the Game Developers Conference, and we're all like almost all of us are game industry professionals at some capacity, but we're in all disciplines. So not just design and programming. We have art, we have writers, we have people who do PR and comms, we have community managers, we have people who do legal and business operations. We literally have everything. Production. So really the sky's the limit when it comes to like all these little niche like sub disciplines within disciplines. And then we have a ton of devs that are like international as well. And in our Discord we actually have country channels. events, and they like talk about their events and they share their games, the certain game jams that they do as well that are more local, and that way we get to know what's happening locally, because in the US you're kind of in a bubble, but it's nice to be able to see that on Discord, the movement and how much the region is growing in game development and just as the games industry in general, and to be able to see that in real time is like really 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 nice.
I love to hear that. The other side I'm very curious about is, as you said, the development side. One of the things I love about PAX is, we get our Nintendos, we get our Bandai Namcos, these large publishers and studios, but there's a like sincerity and heart to seeing the indie developers in the smaller scene, and then getting cultivated and getting the I don't know if the right word is like curation, but it's like you're getting visibility. There's so like the industry has never had so many people working in it, but it still struggles. What kind of scenes or how has that grown or evolved for the Latin American like development industry? Is it penetrating in any kind of way? Like, can you tell me a little bit about like what that climate or industry looks like? Are they making waves? Is it still a struggle, and for what reasons maybe?
Yeah, that's a great question. I was actually very invested in trying to figure out answers for that myself last year, and we did a little bit of an internal research project, looking at the state of the industry in the region and seeing like what countries have more support.
Okay.
And it is true that some countries have like at the federal level like game development incentives to allow for funding or incubation or accelerator programs, so that games can be made in the country and like the economy is brought into the country. So some of the countries that we see that are doing this are Uruguay, Peru, Costa Rica. There are a few more, but they are the ones that have like federal level like support, where like the country wants to see more games coming out, which is really really cool. And there are really big industries in Latin America. Mexico has a huge games industry. Brazil is immense. That's why Gamescom Latam was held in Brazil for the first time this year, and it was huge. And they have federal support as well. They have investment within the country. They're pretty self-sustaining when it comes to like the games industry inside Brazil, which is awesome. And then another country that we're seeing that's growing a lot is Chile and Colombia. They're having a lot of like external development studios popping up, really talented developers, and then they're partnering with studios all over the world to help them create their games. So that's the type of research that we have found.
That's good.
And then there are other countries that are still in their baby steps, and we're trying to help them grow. So there's Puerto Rico, there's Dominican Republic. We have now developers in Cuba that we're aware of, Honduras, Guatemala.
How's the scene in Paraguay?
Paraguay, we don't have that many devs in Paraguay. We have devs in
yet.
Panama, not yet, but we have them in Uruguay, which is close by. But little by little, as the years go by, we get more and more devs from different countries, which is really, really awesome.
It's a snowball effect.
Yeah.
Like, you get one piece, you get another, and you can build that momentum and leverage it. So I very much love to hear that, and I'm happy to see it continue to cultivate and grow. I want to, before we wrap up, just kind of give you an opportunity. Is there any one final message you want us to leave on? And where should people find resources or anything from a public-facing side for you?
Absolutely. So everything can be found, all of our initiatives, all of our socials, and our Discord links can be found on our website. Okay. Our website is www.latinxingaming.com. In there are the forms for the grant program, for the Android porting program, where you can fill it out and submit the form. There's also an initiative that we have online called La Escuelita, which is the little school. And we have game development and game design resources translated in Spanish, because we felt that was definitely a barrier a little bit. All of or at least the majority of the game development content to learn is in English, and that is a barrier for folks that perhaps don't dominate reading it. So we decided to start translating some stuff into Spanish, and with hopes to also do it in Portuguese, so that we can help our Brazilian devs and young people, students and such, learn a little bit more. And there's a donate button there if you're so inclined to donate and believe in like our cause. We're happy to have donations, because that's how we live, and we're able to give back to the community.
Thank you. And what I wanted to ask too, if you were to speak to any Latin devs that are interested, like what would you leave them with this message on?
I would say get plugged in. We thrive on community. Like game development needs community. Like in order to get your games out there, in order to get feedback, in order to get mentorship, to get guidance. Like that's why you need community. So if you feel isolated, if you feel like you're in need of that, like please plug in. We live on the internet, so we do have meetups in real life, but truly we do a lot online as well. So yeah, just plug in, and we're here for you with open arms. Like we always are very welcoming of anybody that is needing that community for themselves.
Well, thank you again so much. It's so heartwarming to hear the effort that you guys are doing and that it's seeing so much like growth and everything. So again, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope this is informative and educational to those listening. I'll be sure to put all the links and everything in the show notes so when I publish this. But again, thank you so much.